thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Allie Beck with Vistasothebys International Realty.
And I'm Michellerogers with Cross Country Mortgage.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today, Michelle. I appreciate your time. I do want to ask you, so if I were a homeowner in California and I wanted to start buying investment properties, whether in California or out of the state, what loan options would you recommend?
Well, there's been a lot of people that want to become investment buyers, and there's a lot of different approaches we can take. So what we're seeing a lot of lately is there's been so much home value appreciation over the last decade that a lot of homeowners are actually tapping into the equity in their primary residence, either via a cash out refi or a home equity line of credit. And then they're taking those funds to use as a down payment to purchase their first investment property. The other really neat thing that just got announced, and it actually launches a little later this month, is that we can now do 5% down for an owner occupied duplex, triplex, or 4-unit building. So some of our younger first-time home buyers, they're already thinking ahead and having their first home be a multifamily that they live in for 2 to 5 years. And then once they are ready, they can then buy another home for themselves if maybe at that point they want a single family home or a condo. And then they now still have this multifamily property that they can turn into their full-time investment property.
A couple huge topics of conversation that we're talking about in the real estate market is, one, there is very little inventory. And two is the interest rates. You know, they're higher than what we've seen in the past few years. So if you're in a position and you wanted to purchase a house today, and what kind of options does Cross Country Mortgage offer to help ease some of the pressure from the raised interest rates that we're seeing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a variety of loan programs that can help buyers with affordability. And that's what we're really talking about, is things have become less affordable as interest rates have risen. So one really cool loan program we call the 3-2-1 buy down. And it's basically a way for the seller to help temporarily buy down the interest rate for the buyer. And it's done via a seller credit to the buyer. And it's so cool because it buys down the buyer's interest rate significantly for either the first 3, 2, or 1 years of their ownership. And with the expectation that we're going to be able to refi them in the next year or two, it basically bridges that gap for them. So that's been really popular. Another program that's been pretty popular as well are the interest-only loans, where instead of paying principal and interest each month, you only have to make an interest payment. So that has always been really helpful in making homes more affordable to home buyers. So we try to be very unique to each client, what their needs are, their risk tolerance, and then give recommendations that would help them.
So there's been a lot of buzz about interest rates and how they've changed in the last couple of years. And you mentioned at one of our meetings about 5 to 7 year ARMs and the benefits of them. Can you help educate us on some of the benefits of locking in a 5 to 7 year adjustable rate mortgage?
Yes, so typically, not always, but oftentimes a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage or a 7-year adjustable rate mortgage will have slightly lower interest rates than a 30-year fixed mortgage. So that is one of the loan programs that we've been utilizing recently to help with affordability. And we're more confident in advising for those loan programs right now because we feel so confident that mortgage rates are going to come down in the next couple years. And so getting into a 5-year fixed rate or a 7-year fixed rate still gives plenty of rate and payment protection for the buyer until we are able to refinance them into a lower rate.
If you are not a first home buyer and you are renting and you want to be able to purchase real estate, you want to be able to invest real estate and take advantage of appreciation, but maybe you can't afford to purchase in California and you want to look elsewhere, what would you suggest doing? What kind of loan options does Cross Country offer?
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of clients who California has become unaffordable for them. However, need to live here. Perhaps they still have kids in the school system, or aging parents are caring for, or their job requires them to be in California. So they're renting here. However, they want to get involved in real estate as an asset. So what we're doing for a lot of people, particularly the western states, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Tennessee. So a lot of people are buying either a second home that they're renting also in another state where it's a little more affordable home prices. Right. And one cool thing, a little fact, a lot of people are not aware of this, is in the lending world, a first-time home buyer is considered anybody who has not owned a home in the last 3 years. So it doesn't have to be that you've never owned a home before in your life, but as long as you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you are considered a first-time home buyer and can take advantage of all the first-time home buyer loan programs. So Cross Country Mortgage, we're nationwide, so I can lend in all the United States. So I love helping clients in California that are looking to invest in real estate in other states.
I have a dear friend, and use an example. Dear friend, they have already owned a home in California, and they're in a situation now where they're renting. And let's face it, homes in California, they're kind of expensive. It's hard to save up the money for a down payment. So you can no longer take advantage of first-time home buyer benefits, but you would like to own a second home in California, and you're renting, what options do you have to help them purchase a property outside of California, Arizona, Texas, Utah, something like that, that's more affordable, so they can take advantage of the tax benefits of being a homeowner?
Yeah, great question. We actually have had so many of our California clients buying in the western states. So fortunately for me, Cross Country Mortgage is a nationwide lender, so I can procure loans across the country. So I've had many of my clients from California reach out because they're wanting to buy a retirement home in another state, or a second home, or even an investment property in another state, because perhaps they can't afford to get their first investment property in California. So I'm helping people with this all the time. And the great news is I can still get them set up and ready, knowing what is affordable to them, what their purchase power is. And regardless of what state they're shopping in, the only thing we really have to pay attention to is there are different loan limits in each county, let alone each state. So we just want to make sure that we are identifying potential states, so that when we are telling them what their purchase power is, it's with those loan limits in mind.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.